The International Women's Day celebration is commemorated globally in the month of March in recognition of the resilience of women across different sectors, which has impacted positively on the development of the society. Despite the numerous contributions to the society from family level to governance, trade, politics, education, and health, as well as agriculture, analysts say women still suffer relegation in some communities. It is to highlight the importance of inclusion of women in all spheres of life that the United Nations in 1975 set aside March 8th as a day to join voices and celebrate women in all their diversity. Hello there and welcome to Gender and Parliament on NTA Parliament. I am Amina Saidu. This edition focuses on the 2024 International Women's Day celebration, which has Counter In, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress as the theme, while the campaign hashtag is Inspire Inclusion. Let's get started with this report from Tope Alabi on what brought the commissioners of Women Affairs from the 36 states and the FCT to the nation's capital city.
Data from the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs shows Nigeria recorded 27,698 cases of sexual and gender-based violence between 2020 and 2023, with some convictions recorded and cases pending in courts this year. This Conference of Commissioners of Women Affairs is to support meaningful conversations across states for appropriate and inclusive planning, budgeting, resource mobilization, and implementation to protect the rights of women, children, and persons with disabilities.
There are sometimes we see these abuses of women taking place. We have a data, of the sexual assault and referral centers that show that about 42,000 women that have been assaulted have appeared before these centers since the first one was set up in 2013. And the question is, why is it that we have very small number of people that have been prosecuted or convicted? So one of the key things that we need to do in terms of ensuring that these issues of women and children remain within the front burner is to ensure that there is prosecution, of sexual and gender-based violence conducts, and to ensure that as we have as many number of people that have been apprehended, that they are prosecuted, and to ensure also that the courts that are responsible for these types of cases are adequately funded, that they are provided with the right equipment for them to be able to try those cases and ensure that they reach their conclusion.
If you don't bring it out, how do we know?
Minister for Women Affairs Uju Kennedy Ohaneye says there will be legal reforms to push for stiffer penalties for defaulters of gender-based violence.
Before now, women were the vulnerable ones, as you can know. But now, the measures we are putting up, no more business as usual, not from police, not from army, not from individuals, not from husbands, not from stepfathers, as you know, so many things that are going on. So we are putting up a measure that we are bringing in integrity brigade, of which all the commissioners are part of it, all the traditional rulers are part of it. These are some of the ways we want Nigeria to save Nigeria. We can't do this alone. The Women Affairs cannot do this alone. So we are asking for Nigerians to volunteer and join what we call Integrity Brigade for PBAT Cares for Women e-portal markets. Let them join it. In this brigade, they will be able to fish out things that belong to women and children, bring it out. Note that women and children are over 70% of Nigerian population. So if we take care of their problems, automatically the nation will be well built. We are unveiling by the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Integrity Group. We are unveiling mobile court. We are unveiling the e-portal markets for women. No more business as usual. You see action. I'm telling you, nobody will leave a stone unturned if you tamper with any woman or children. And we're equally telling the women not to look for trouble. Because if they look for trouble, they won't get support.
Participants, the time has come for accelerated action to ending gender-based societal ills towards attaining the Sustainable Development Goals.
We are not leaving anybody behind. Be you able-bodied, be you disabled persons. We thank God that our country has also given us legal frameworks that can help us combat the violence as they come. Look at the VAP, which is all embracing, that looks at not just SGBV, but other harassments and violence that are meted out to women. So with that, and we also have gender policies that also guides what we do. So what is very strong in combating this is that legal framework. But we also have other procedures like advocacy and awareness that we embark on regularly to keep our people abreast of information they need to have.
We discovered that even with the minister's delivery message, you discover that at the end of the day, the conference is going to take home, we are going to take home with a lot of, ideas which prior to this period we've not been exposed to. And I'm so happy that I'm part of it, and I know that I'll be going back with so many things in order to, to my state, in order to make sure that things are working much better than before.
The discussion is very, very important because at the end of the day, we're going home with a better idea on how to do this job. And we're going home with not just better idea, but stronger spirit, so that we will know that we are representing some people. And, Nigeria is really into crisis now, and the present government is trying through the minister to make sure that things are done well, especially where it concerns women and children. So, that when you get it right with women, that's my belief, then you must have gotten it right with the entire society. Because we are wives to men. We are mothers to these young men. So if we can come together as women and say that enough is enough, then our Nigeria will be good and better for us.
My expectation is that every woman, beyond leaving this place and knowing her mandate and knowing the expectations from the vulnerable group, is to be able to work closely. And working closely in the sense that persons with disabilities have, we represent a very huge demography. In Nigeria alone, we have over 35 million. And in the state level, we run into millions. And the Ministry for Women Affairs is more or less saddled with the responsibility for even persons with disabilities. So we are calling for an immediate establishment of the Commission for Persons with Disabilities that will be working in complementary, that will be working in support with the Ministry for Women Affairs to lessen the burden of the Ministry for Women Affairs and to also shed more light and spotlight issues of persons with disabilities that speaks to employment opportunity, access to health, access to education, and of course the social, political, economic life of persons with disabilities. So we're ready to work closely with the various ministries for women affairs across the states.
Conversation at this gathering is emphasizing the crucial role women play in shaping policies and fostering a more equitable and inclusive society.
Thank you, Topper, for that insightful contribution, which sets the tone for our guest segment. First, a profile of our guest. Her Excellency Dame Senator Dr. Mrs. Ipalibo Haribanigu, DSSRS, is a distinguished figure in Nigerian politics, serving as a senator representing Rivers West Senatorial District. Born in the early 50s in Rivers State, she has an impressive educational background, including degrees in medicine and public health from reputable institutions like the University of Ibadan and Harvard University. Throughout her career, she has held various positions in the Rivers State Government Civil Service, including being the first female head of civil service and secretary to the government. In 2015, she made history as the first female deputy governor of Rivers State, a position she was re-elected for in 2019, earning recognition for her loyalty and distinguished service. Dr. Banigo is also known for her philanthropic work, founding the Coward Brown Foundation in 2008, which focuses on empowering youths, women, and the vulnerable in society through skill acquisition programs and advocacy for the girl child. Currently, she chairs the Senate Committee on Health, where she continues to make significant contributions to healthcare policies and initiatives. Her dedication to public service and commitment to improving the lives of others make her a respected leader in Nigeria. That takes us straight to the interview segment, and Vivian is our guide.
Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the program Gender and Parliament, reaching you on NTA Parliament. I am Vivian Idekpefo. This week, we are looking at the International Women's Day celebration, and we have as our guest the former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Her Excellency Dr. Ipalibo Harry Badigo. Did I get it right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, and she is the senator representing Rivers West Senatorial District from Rivers State. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
So we'll go right into it, the International Women's Day celebration for 2024. What does the IWD mean to you? What does it mean?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate women all over the world, especially Nigerian women, on this celebration of the International Women's Day 2024. Well, for me, it speaks of celebrating the educational pursuits of our women, their cultural and social achievements, their achievements economically and politically. And it's a kind of global activism. At the same time, it's a time to look and see what further changes we can do to attain better progress.
Okay, so the theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, and one of the hashtags is about inclusivity. How would this theme fit into the progress that women have made so far, and from your experience as someone who has been in leadership position?
Well, inclusivity is very, very important, because gender equality is a very deepening aspect of sustainable development. And not only is it one of the goals of the SDGs, goal number 5, gender equality, but it is also relatable to fundamental human rights, in the sense that it's discrimination against gender. And so the equality, bringing women to be part of this, is very important to reduce poverty. This is what the SDG is all about, and this is what inclusivity is about, so that we can overall reduce global poverty when you include women in the affairs of the nations of the world. And you can do this in several ways. Later on, when I talk about education, I always say education is key. So we need to educate our women in science, in engineering, mathematics, and in ICTs, so that they can be better prepared to be able to make their impact in the various spheres of society. And we need to ensure that there is no violence against them whatsoever. We must end violence against women. We must take away discrimination against them. We must make them to feel strong, that they have a role to play, they have a destiny to give into the whole, what is happening in the world.
and also to protect them from sexual assault. And of course, if you educate the woman, you in fact educate a nation. You educate a woman, you educate a family. So that's where I come to later, but this is what I think that the hashtag should be all about.
Okay, now about equality, equity, we talk about balance.
Yeah.
Because most times we find that when women are clamoring for something to be in particular positions, like we see with the 35% affirmative action, the men kind of perceive that these are they are a threat. Let me use, if I would use the word threat. How can we strike a balance so that both genders see that they are partners?
Exactly, you said the word. As a matter of fact, women are not ever supposed to be anything but partners. God created us to be a helpmeet. So they are physiologically and emotionally wired up to be partners. And that they do very well when they are given the opportunity. So if they are given that recognition and they are given that space to be partners, not competitors, they have a lot to bring to the table. And they do a lot of things that help the emancipation of their families and the nations, wherever they serve.
Okay, so if I could deviate, can I deviate? Okay, so you sit as the chair of the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary. And before we came in here, someone asked me, what is the difference between secondary and tertiary health? So I put it to you now, as someone who is heading that committee, so we get to hear the difference from the horse's mouth.
Okay. Well, secondary health care is that which is delivered at the state general hospitals at the secondary care level, which is a level a little below the tertiary healthcare services. Tertiary healthcare services is that which is delivered at all the teaching hospitals in the country, in all the states, at all the federal medical centers. Some of the federal medical centers too still deliver secondary health care. It's just a question of a level which one is a little bit more specialized than the other. But take it all together, it's quite different from the primary health care service, which is supposed to be delivered at the grassroots, delivered at the local government areas, delivered at the community health centers and primary health centers. So for the tertiary, secondary and tertiary health services, we have about 93 or so health institutions across the country that come into this category, which we have to oversight and for which we are responsible for receiving their budgets and ensuring that they do what the budget has approved for them to do.
Okay, and I do know that women are, will I say, the ones who patronize hospitals the most. In your assessment, look, as we celebrate the International Women's Day, how would you rate the access of women to quality medical care?
The access has not been as good as we want it to be. Even though you say women access health services more, and that's because they are the bearers of children. They are the ones that grow the children in the homes and often are the first teachers of their children. But there have been difficulties in access, mostly because if you have to pay for everything you need to get for your child, your family's health services, which you call out-of-pocket expenses, it will definitely curtail the access of that woman to receive health care and quality health care. And that's why one of the things that we are targeting very, very strongly is to increase the coverage of the insurance schemes so that we can take a lot more people. Right now, the insurance is covering too few people across the nation, both women and others. And so one of the things that we've done for the first time this year is that the National Health Act, which was signed into law in 2014, has a provision for a vulnerable group fund. And this vulnerable group fund takes care of health insurance for children under 5, for pregnant women, for the elderly above 60, for internally displaced persons, and for those with disabilities. But it had never been, it's been there in the Act, but it has never been appropriated for. So for the first time this year, 2024 budget, there is a sum appropriated for it. So this will boost what the health insurance, the National Health Insurance Authority can do to reach out to these vulnerable groups, of which are women, are one of them, and children who they take care of. So that's why access has not been as good as we want it to be. But what we really believe that with bringing in more funding into the health insurance scheme, that we'll be able to expand access, people will be able to freely come in and seek help, get medical treatment and quality medical treatment. For me, for instance, my zonal intervention project for 2024 is geared towards providing health insurance for my constituents in Rivers Central West. I intend to provide insurance cover for at least 10,000 constituents across the 8 local government areas in my zone. And I'm happy that my state also has started a state health insurance scheme. So there'll be sustainability. At the end of the year, it will always can be fitted into the state health insurance scheme so that there'll be sustainability. So we want to increase access, we want to increase coverage, we want to increase quality, and we want to take out the fear of people not having confidence, of women particularly, who are the bearers of these children and who take care of them very early in life, to take away the fear in them of going to reach out to health centers and hospitals and receive the care that they need, quality care.
I must congratulate you there, having to have funds allocated for the vulnerable specifically in the health insurance scheme. Congratulations. And we hope that more of these will come up. And so now I see the passion you talk about the health care and you talk about the vulnerable group with the passion. So if you were to change anything, what would it be?
Interestingly, I would go first for education, because education is key. You see, statistics shows that an educated mother is more likely to survive birth, childbirth, and so on. Maternal mortality rates are more favorable in the educated female. And also, infant mortality rates and child death rates are more favorable to the children of the educated female. And you can see that the woman who is educated, right from her home level, she has something to contribute, even to the health of her children and her people living in the same house with her. She's more likely to give them a balanced diet because she knows what a balanced diet is. And she's more likely to encourage her children to also go to school because she would like them to do as well, if not better than herself. And she's more likely to be a good helpmeet to her husband because with her education, she'll be more economically able. And she can also, this will all add towards reducing poverty at the home level, reducing poverty at the state level, and at the nation. So the contribution of an educated woman is something that is uncountable. So I would go for education. I would ensure that every single girl child receives education up to the level that she can take and enters into skills, entrepreneurship, if that's what she wants to do, but she should be encouraged, first and foremost, to get a right education. I don't agree with allowing girl children to drop out of school because of early pregnancy. That is a no-no for me. I don't allow them to drop out of school because of early marriage. That is a no-no. We must allow them to be educated to the level that they can take it and keep educating them so that they can give the best to their families, to their state, and to the nation and the world.
Well, your vision aligns with that of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. She's talking about alternative schools for this category of people. So perhaps you're looking towards such a thing?
Well, I agree with the First Lady is very passionate, and I've had discussions with her. I agree with her perfectly well in her vision, and we'll do the best we can to support that vision.
Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the program, Gender and Parliament.
Thank you, Vivian.
Gender and Parliament.
Thank you. Good to speak with you.
Here's the information straight from the source. With that, we conclude today's episode. Don't forget to tune in to this episode and other programs on the platforms on your screen. Signing off on behalf of the production team, I'm Amina Saidu. Goodbye for now.